crewman number 4. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Over.
Yeah, I've got you.
Crewman number 4. Everybody here at ground control wants to thank you for your sacrifice. Crewmate number 4. Because of you, we were able to get the other 6 crew off the station safely. I wish we could have gotten the escape pods away without needing you to release them physically, but you really stepped up after the malfunction. You're a true hero. You saved lives today, crewman number 4. The radio communication remains stable, but on backup. Can you get to comms for us for a full rundown of the situation? Over.
Yeah, yeah, I can get there. I'm fine.
Good. You should still have the map on your readouts. I know you've just regained consciousness. You were by the escape pods. If you look around, are you aware of your surroundings? Over.
Yeah, yeah, I've got it. It's a distinctive space. Yes. All right, I'm with you. I'm going to head past life support now.
Be careful of things floating around. Crewmate number 4. We're having some problems with tethering. Things are on the blink somewhat.
I'll keep an eye open. It's a bit dark here, but I'll pay attention.
That's something I hope we can sort. There are ways that we can still get to backup power. Over.
Okay, that would be handy. I mean, unless power robs life support, you know.
Everything robs everything else. It must be said. Over.
Uh, Excellent. I'll make my way along the passageway. Hold on. Uh, all right. Heading for dining now. Take me just a few seconds. Yeah. Yeah. I'm. The hatch is stiff. One moment.
Um, I might be able to give you a hand with that, uh, Crewmate number 4. If I have an override code, if it's helpful.
Yeah. Try it.
Um, it's 8484. Does that work? Over.
8-4. No. No. Nothing.
Okay.
Uh, Let me think. It just feels stiff. I may go hunt round crew quarters, see if I can find something to get it open.
That sounds good, Crewmate number 4. Uh, be reminded that the uh, the other crew took all the personals they could, so it might feel slightly strange yours being the only belongings in there. Over.
Um, yeah, yeah, I can imagine. Not like I wasn't packed up myself, ready to go. Uh, One moment. Um, it's even darker in here. Uh, that's
Sorry,
uh,
power is. We're reading power very low. Crewmate number 4. Do you um, are there any torches still? Emergency torches still by the hatch? Over.
not on the rack, but sometimes people leave them. Uh, I've got one. It's fine. Um, People often put them by the hatch exit. It's good. Okay, that's better. Right. Um, okay. Oh, it's creepy. Looking around this space. One moment. Pum, 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 pum. Huh. Okay, this will probably work. I've got a spanner.
that sounds excellent. Excellent. Get back to comms, and we can sort out this communication system. Over.
Okay. Stand by. I'm at the hatch to dining. That's better. It's moving. Okay. I think when the pods went, it just changed the pressure a little bit, made it sticky. It's open now. Heading for comms. Suddenly you realize why it would be a good idea to wash up promptly.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm through the hatch to comms. What am I looking for?
On the readout on the large central unit, I have comms on our reading as very low as 10%. Is it the same with you? Over.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a number, but it's low.
We won't be able to get it all the way, but it would be good to get cameras operational again so that I can see what you're seeing. Over.
Let's give it a shot.
I would, if you remember your training, you have to attempt work around 10-4. Over.
10-4. Yeah. I never liked those ones.
No, you did. You did always seem to skip that if you could.
Okay. Yep, it's coming up now. Yep. Coming on. Green, green, green.
Fantastic. Can you attempt the? I don't think we'll be able to get right up to 100%, number four, but if we could gain up to 40 or 50, I think we'd be in with a shot. Um, if you could attempt with 8-3 or 8-4 would give us extra comms, I feel.
I'll try them both. Hang on. Oh, yeah, plenty. Both went through flying. Um, yeah, all the way.
That's fantastic. I can see it going up by the second. That's fantastic. Now, if I just click on this, I should. Ah, there. Fantastic. Uh, can you see me, crewmate number 4? Can you see me on your screen?
Uh, yeah, a bit. You're you're a bit fuzzy, but I've got the outline of you.
Fantastic. Well, I suppose I am a long way away after all. It's it's good to see you haven't taken any serious head injuries from that. I was certainly worried when you didn't respond to my call for the first 5 minutes. Over.
Uh, you were worried. Yeah, a bit of disorientation, um, a bit of pressure problems, and then there was the several minutes of random screaming and crying.
It's uh, it's understandable. I know you've been on the station for 18 months, and this must be the first time that you've been in a room by yourself in that time, let alone the whole station.
Um, Pretty much, yeah. I mean, every now and then you do manage to get a little bit of quiet time, but it's not what you'd call common.
Well, I suppose the one bright side of it is that for the time being, you have as much quiet time as you want.
Palatial is what it is. Palatial.
Indeed. Does just running a check? Does comms look stable?
Uh, Seem to be.
Fantastic. I'm getting a slight blinking on my dash. Could you please check an 8-4 for me, please?
Can do. Stand by. It doesn't seem to have changed anything.
That's uh, that's good news. That's good news. Comms appears steady. Um, it feels like we can have uh, decent conversation. Decent conversation for now, I suppose. Not that I'm much of a conversationalist. How's the weather? I suppose.
Um, I've almost forgotten what weather is. It's when you're stuck here, it's sort of like every day is how to describe it? Airport lounge waiting area.
It's. I suppose it could be worse. You could be down in the middle of the storms of Jupiter beneath you. Over.
Yeah, that would definitely be worse. Um, on the subject of which, how are we doing with the actual stability of the whole station?
Uh, this is. I'll be honest with you. This is somewhat of a concern. Crewmate number four. It would. If you could get into systems and take a look for me. We're slightly concerned that the orbital decay is worsening, and we may be limited on time before we lose the space station. Over.
Well, let's get on that. Make that a priority. Right. Okay. Heading for systems now. Um, what's the weather like where you are?
Um, well, you know how it is on Europa. Cold mostly.
Yeah. Good skiing though.
It's true. We've got ironically, we had a fresh batch of crewmen here in the last couple of months. The ones that were coming up to replace you. I suppose I suppose they'll be enjoying a little bit more skiing for a while.
Um, yeah. Well, if you could get them to swap me out anytime soon, that'd be great. Uh, right. Systems. I'm at systems. What can I do?
Um, you you'll need the clearance from crewmate number two. Um, now what was it? Um, if you can log in as yourself, first and foremost, um, attempt attempt to run the bypass. Run. Let's let's try the let's try the most direct route. Could you run an 8-6 for me, please?
An 8-6. We can try it. Nope. Red light. Anything else?
You could you could attempt a 10-5, but that will require some rewiring, and that'll take a few minutes. I guess you've got the time. Um, do you want
Nothing but time.
well, if you rewire the the blue the blue 6 to the red 4, try that.
Mm-hmm. Blue 6 to red 4. Blue 6 to red 4. Let's give it a shot. Oh, just an error message popping up on the read. Uh, no, that's not going to work, I don't think. Doesn't seem to be live. Anything else, or am I starting to hit it with my spanner?
I think we might be one or two stops before that at least.
Okay, let me know when it's spanner time.
I will do. I let me let me speak to someone, see if I can get a better idea of how to do it. Um, why don't you go have a look out of a window and tell me what you see while I'm on that.
Ah, great idea. Yeah. Uh, well, we've got the view above dining. That's closest. I'll go and check that out. Um. Oh. Yeah. Well, the planet's looking great. Big, round, swallows everything in its path. Like usual. Um. It's a bit less exciting than the first time I saw it. Couldn't believe what the colours were like up close, and then now, I don't know. Now it just seems cold and a long way from home.
It's it's certainly both those things. Number four. Okay, I might have found a workaround. If you can make it back,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
it's risky though. It's diverting power. Um, so you'll need to go to the power bank next to it. Um, we've got just three power. Could you 30% with that? Could you attempt a 6-3 on the power, please?
I'll try it. Okie dokie. Hold on to your hats. What do you know? That looks perfect.
Oh, fantastic. Powers down. I can check, but we have had you should see the surge in the in what you're looking for. If you run a simple 12-3, I think you're in.
Uh, this is my kind of progress. Oh, look at that. Thank you. Well done.
Yes, I can see which of the four arcs is displaying as orbital decay as it stands.
Um, we're at the high level, right up at the top.
Ah,
It's yeah, it's looking good and stable.
that's good.
Um,
0.45 AU. That's it's a little lower than is ideal. We'll need to track that over the next little while. If we start dropping towards zero point 0.4, I think we're definitely experiencing decay. Hopefully, it's not too late.
all right. Okay. Well, I can't see this display from everywhere, but I can pull it up in some parts of the station.
That's uh, that's fantastic. Um, I'm having from what's your oxygen reading? Still good. We lost some in the venting, but
Uh, if so, it's not showing on the readings. Everything looks topped up.
that's uh, that's fantastic. Um, how long has it been since you've eaten? You must get nourishment into you.
Yeah, well, it's one of the nice things about being in orbit around something like Jupiter. Um, the side of the station that faces Jupiter is always facing it, so it's always noon. It's great. So the last time I ate was about noon, I think, and the time before that was noon, just between my noon sleep and my noon shift.
This is spoken like a man that's not been able to have any alcohol in at least 18 months of noons.
Lot of noon. Lot of noon with no booze. Um, okay. So, I hate to bring up the awkward question, but we getting me off this thing, or we getting someone to come and collect me, or what?
Did you did you know there is emergency emergency whiskey on board? Over.
Uh, if I had known there was emergency whiskey on board, there would not be emergency whiskey on board.
It's it's locked in the cupboard in the laboratory, the one with the keypad that you were told that only crewmate 7 needed to know. The code is 4126.
Right. Bear with me a moment. Um, then we'll see. We'll see if I can make this whole experience just fly by. Uh, huh, 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 huh. Oh, there's lots of good stuff in here. Oh, all the good drugs.
That's uh, that's excellent. A good find, right?
It is good. Um, so, this station cost what, 100 billion or something?
It's uh, it's hard to put a price on something so important.
Oh, believe me, I'm right there with it being important. Um, I'm just curious in the budgeting cost of the 100 billion space station. Um, why the cheap blended scotch in the half size bottle?
Well, the to be honest, the the space station is 100 billion, but the the crewmate's less valuable, I suppose. Not to put it too harshly, over.
I I actually tend to agree. I spent a lot of time with Crewmate 5.
Tell me more about crewmate 5. You have time? No doubt you're halfway through the bottle already. Let's we might as well get comfortable. You're not going anywhere.
Are you sure? Surely there's some kind of rescue mission coming, right?
Tell me about crewmate 5.
Crewmate 5, or just 5 to his mates. Um, a bit of a young lad, you know?
Hmm.
You know how sometimes you think, I know exactly how a person got the job they got. I can see exactly what appealed to the person who interviewed them or trained them. I can see how they made it through as the best of their class. I'm immediately impressed with their independence, their skill, their knowledge. You didn't really get that with 5.
What did you get with 5?
Well, it's hard to get lost on your way to work on a station this size, but he seemed to manage it.
I'm pulling up his reports now. Oh yes, crewmate 5. Um, how did you find him under pressure?
Um, fetal in general, um, which was a problem not just because he wasn't doing his duty, but also because it usually took one of the rest of us to talk him out of the funk. And under pressure, you kind of need everybody to be doing their job, not two people to be busy because one of them's useless and the other one's trying to make him not be.
The everyone has strengths, so everyone's taken on their certain skill. What would you say Crewmate 5's greatest skill was?
His greatest skill? I would have to say he must interview brilliantly.
I guess as we're friends now, I can tell you he's the son of the managing director here.
Ah, yeah, that tracks. Yeah.
So, how's the whiskey? Better going down than in the bottle?
It's something of a relief, yes. And looking along this cabinet, I mean, when I run out of whiskey, there's plenty more entertainment.
How much time's worth of entertainment do you feel is there?
Depends. Is the oxygen depleting or are we still making it?
Well, I'd like you to, when you brought it up, go check on life support and run a full diagnostic there. Oxygen is saying full, but one of my readings suggests there's some venting from by one of the pod exits. I like to check that the numbers are correct. Give it a tap. You get your spanner out. Give it a hit with that. Can we double check that the numbers are correct to that end, please? Over.
Yep, that I can do. Hold on a second. Don't want to leave anything in the glass. All right. On my way. Stand by. Okay. Life support. What am I doing?
What's it like being in zero G for so long?
Well, it's lovely for your circulation. Feels like it's no effort at all to breathe or to move. It's great. Not great for digestion, I will say. Leads to some uncomfortable moments when it comes to passing waste. But the real biggie is, no matter how long you're here, you get these occasional bits of dizziness. You know, you lose spatial orientation, especially when you wake up. So, since he never really did, I imagine 5 never experienced that. But the rest of us, when you wake up, there's a sort of moment where your brain's still trying to orient itself, and everything seems upside down, and your feet seem attached to your head.
I'm just being asked to ask you, what is something that Europa Services provided you with or helped you with to overcome this as a crewmate?
Well, actually, from head office, so to speak, not a lot. They came up with a few ideas, some of which work better than others. Those dots they painted in the crew quarters that you were supposed to be able to focus on, so you didn't wake up like staring at a blank wall, that was supposed to make a difference. And it might have done, I guess, but Well, let's just say instead of attaching them in the recommended pattern, we tended to attach them in join the dots patterns of highly offensive things. So, it wasn't really used as directed, I suppose. No, the best advice I got was from one of the crew. 6. A good idea, actually. Got used to it after a while. When you wake up, don't open your eyes, but actually give yourself a proper stretch first, and feel where you are and where everything is, and then open your eyes once you're properly settled in your body, and then look around you. Then, and it gives you a moment's like seasickness when you first do it, but it clears the disorientation really fast.
So, very good advice. Is that okay, sir? Okay, good. Okay. Okay. To life support, we need to check. We need to check this out more carefully because something isn't adding up here.
Okay. You're worried about the oxygen level?
Well, things are starting to not add up between readout and the more in-depth calculations. Let's put it that way.
Right. I expressed myself poorly. I mean, you're thinking about the oxygen level. I'm worried about it.
I think that's fair. Are you by the main module? Over.
Yep, right in front of it. What can I do?
Can you start by running a full 12-6 diagnostic to check if we can delve down a bit deeper?
12-6. Sure can. This is my hitting zone. Yep. Okay, I've got a lot of stuff. What do you need to know?
Okay. Feed. Scroll down. Do your thing. I know this is one of your strengths. Could you run an 8 check to see what the actual oxygen is?
An 8? Sure, I can do that. Hold on.
And how different it is? How different is it from our readouts? Over.
It's showing 3.
3. That explains a lot. Number 4. The door to the escape pod room. Could you first of all, we're going to need to check out inside. You're going to need to check out inside, should I say? I'm sorry, it's a bad habit in that regard. It's all on you, of course. No pressure, I suppose. I suggest getting a spacesuit from the airlock and heading in and checking out if there's any bad connections by the escape pods, or you can just go straight in if you wish, or you could seal the door off. Any of those things, really up to you. Over.
Well, I'm going to go straight in and check it on the basis that if the spacesuit was going to be that essential, I'd have noticed it with the door wide open. I mean,
That's very true.
it's there's not a lot to breathe out there. So, okay. Stand by. I'll just head straight there. Oh, good. Back in the escape pod room. Okay. What can I do here?
You need to check around the seal for the airlocks for the 2 escape pods. They're quite rudimentary. because of course we would always assume that once the escape pods weren't there anymore, it was less important to have a solid solid steel. Everyone would have got off for a reason.
Yeah, well, everyone did, except me.
And I am told to keep telling you that you are indeed a hero for that. That you've saved 6 lives today.
I feel pretty good about 5 of them. So, um,
But not number five, ironically.
ironically, how are they doing, by the way? Have you got track on their pods?
Uh, we have. It's going to be a few days till pickup, but life is still good in all of them. Uh, for some reason, number five is in a pod on their own. I don't know if you were part of that decision making process. Over.
No, no. I when I decided to stick behind, I sort of got out of the loop on seating arrangements.
That's understandable. Please check North Pod, South Pod to see if there is to see where the problem is. If you can indeed spot it. Over. I think
Yep.
it's a. Um, what is your what is the systems are down here, aren't they, man? You're gonna have to do some hitting to double check. Put your hand there, do the check for air, as it were. Have you still got your tools over?
Absolutely. Not letting go of this.
Is it a what is it? Is it a 10 or an 8? Your tool?
This one, it's an 8.
It's an
I
8.
don't really use a 10.
No, even when a job calls for 10.
Well, if a job calls for 10, it was a stupid job.
Oh, Europa Services has long been a proponent of decimalisation over.
Yeah. Yeah, but apparently also nepotism.
It's true. It's it's 8 4s on both either over
All right.
to
I'll
check to
give it
see.
a squidge. Stand by control. First one looks good.
That is good. That is good. Okay.
Give me a second. Okay, I think I found a problem.
What do you see over?
South side. There's when I try to tighten up the actual mounting points here. It's loose. It's not properly fitted, or it's broken or worn somewhere. There's a uh, hang on a second. Stand by. I'm going to see if I can find something light. Uh, what have we got? Um, okay, the film cover for one of those absolutely uh, delicious meals. That'll do it.
Whoa, crewmate number 4. Can you hold on a second? Sorry to pause you in this. Um, did you feel anything just then? Our readout suggests a change in in velocity or direction or something over.
Uh, I didn't.
Um,
I was concentrating on something else though.
it's up to you over to both this. Of course, stopping the venting is important, but we need to keep a hand on any potential decay over.
Decay's more critical. I'm out of here. I'm gonna seal and dog the hatch to the escape pod room.
That's a go over.
Okay. All right. Stand by. On my way out. Um. All right, that hatch is sealed.
Would you if it should be if you get back to life support at some point, you can reclaim remaining oxygen for your supplies over and leave it a vacuum in there, but it will be lost over.
I'm gonna need it, but I need information first. Comms first. I'm gonna check the decay level. Okay.
It's systems over.
Systems. Oh God. Okay. Then in that case, life support first, because I might be getting a bit lightheaded. Either that or the CO2's climbing. I'm going to life support, and I'm going to see if I can reclaim the O2.
That's fantastic. I'm just checking your options over. I believe an 8.6 reclaims 3, an 8.4 reclaims 2.20, and an 8.2 reclaims 10. Over. 8.6, 8.4, 8.2. Over.
8.6, 8.4, 8.2. We'll give it a shot. Eight two, the only one that worked.
I see your options risen to around 40% though, 39.5. That's something. It'll
It's
keep you going for
39
now.
and a half.
39.5. Well, I'm rounding up to 40 for you to make you feel good. Over.
Yeah. At some point, I'll give you a list of things that make me feel good. Right. So, systems.
How are the lights in there? I was always a proponent for regular lighting, but I was overruled by the red light brigade
Um,
for emergencies.
I'm not necessarily a huge fan of emergency lighting, but this isn't too bad, mostly because it's quite subdued. But the torch works, at least as long as its battery lasts, and I'm getting to that point in the analysis where I'm starting to realise the battery will probably outlast me.
Well, the torch may have been used quite a lot, so you never know. Over.
Well, let's at least get to systems and find out what's going on with the station itself. It's and you know, on the bright side, I'm not claustrophobic since the station just got a bit smaller.
Better to be inside the small than outside the big. Over.
Yeah. Let's let's pretend that isn't true. Okay. Heading across to systems. All right. Hatchways open. Heading in now. Here we go. What can I do here?
I'm concerned that the change in velocity and angle has affected the decay. Maybe rushed it on somewhat. There's nothing here that you can do that can change that, but it depends whether ignorance is bliss or you want to know exactly where you're at. Over.
I want to know exactly. It's going to affect the rate at which I drink.
Then it should be a regular 8.4 check. Over.
Okay. Uh, no, it's immediately thrown me an error. What does that mean?
Um, we've lost we've lost you on tracking. Over. We're flying blind. Our end. I can see changes in velocity and potentially angle, but I can't tell which what your orbiting distance is. Over.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what I can do. I can hit it with a spanner, or I could alternatively, if you're not keen on the hitting it with a spanner thing, I could hit it twice with a spanner.
Which do you prefer? Over.
I'm feeling lucky. Let's go with twice.
It's a 10-2 spanner, I believe, is it not?
I don't use a 10 spanner. This is an 8.
Then it's an 8-1 spanner. Over.
Okie dokie. That was a good clonk.
Fantastic. Does it has it made any difference?
Yeah. I mean, it's great. I now know exactly where I am. The bad news is it's a 3.
Ah, it's we had a brief flicker out. Briefly, it did appear that you. It's hard to tell, but you're definitely closer to the 0.4, but I can't tell exactly where. Over. I'm amazed it worked at all, or even came close to it. But
Well,
we've lost you again. But it's 0.3 is, as you know, is the point of no return, I suppose.
um, well, let's not do that then.
I'd definitely suggest you didn't.
Okay. All right. Um, can I repair this system? Any of those spare parts in storage going to be helpful?
There's there's let me just check through. Hang on, please bear with me.
Well, I've got other things to be worried about. Need to hurry on a bit. I've got tickets to a show later. And reservations for dinner afterwards.
Number 4, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sorry. In a world of my own.
No,
Literally.
something about a show I heard.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be great.
Can you get a refund? Over.
I doubt it. It's one of those fringe events.
Mm, the worst kind. Not good enough for the actual event.
I mean, it depends what you like. If you like high quality, lavish productions, then sure, you're going to be disappointed. But something experimental, little black box space, I think that can be fun.
I'll take your word for it. Number 4. Um, I've spoken to our specialist, and there's two options you can take. I suppose there's if you can get to storage, uh, there may be some parts that can ramp things up somewhat to get a take on decay, to track decay better. Um, it was also suggested that if you manage to get outside, um, our radio emitter can be fine tuned and should boost not just that, but also comms and potentially power as well. Over.
Okay. Well, what's your recommendation?
Sitting here, the second, but it's a spacewalk. It's risky. The first one allows us to track the decay. Um, the first one may, uh, the second may enable you to do more during that time. I suppose there are some things that there are some experiments in the laboratory which could potentially affect and improve humanity's future. There's some recordings made that were never sent off that would be wonderful if people got them. There are ways to spend this time. Number four. It depends how much time you have.
Um, well, I'm a humanity, so improving my future seems to be a goal. Great. We'll go for that. Um, let's try the spacewalk.
Roger. The suits in the escape pod area will be closed off, but there should still be. You should still have some in the main airlock. I think that'll be your. It's something you practiced, didn't you, in the Europa orbit?
Yeah, and then became a game to determine who was doing the washing up.
It's the sort of thing you must have done a dozen times before.
Yeah, easily. The washing up. Um, climbing in and out of the spacesuit, probably 100. It's fine.
How many times have you done it around Jupiter? Over.
Um, well, going outside, um, if you're talking about actual spacewalks outside the station, as opposed to just climbing into the spacesuit and then climbing out of the spacesuit again, if you mean your actual spacewalk outside in the hard vacuum, looking at the giant planet below us, that part, I've done that. Well, let me think. After this one, it'll be once.
It's he said once. I know this one. I say what? Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, yes. It will be just like it'll be just like around Europa. Um, what's that? Hang on. Just don't stare down into Jupiter. Some have said that it's almost quite haunting beneath you or above you or indeed around you. Focus
Uh,
on the job at hand. Over.
yeah. Yeah. Um, all right. Bear with me a sec. Time for an outfit change. You know, when I was in training, the guy who was teaching me about all of this stuff, he told me there's one really great thing about spacesuits, which is also true of parachutes and ejector seats. They
Uh,
come with a lifetime warranty.
they 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 certainly do. How do you find the Mark IV?
I was just on the side in the airlock.
It's the elbows are much more usable, and the helmet has a greater vision, don't you think?
Yeah, and they're a bit less claustrophobic than the old ones. Something about the more of it's transparent and it feels a bit less close. I think the air circulation's better, doesn't feel as stuffy. And this one's especially good because it smells of scotch.
even more so soon. You didn't have ration pack number 6 today, did you at all?
I'm not really a number six man, to be honest.
And that's probably for the best.
Yeah, I mean, the food I tend to like is the brown ones.
Mm, I've um, I've heard that's generally popular.
I, what can I tell you? I like the taste of brown. Um, Green a little bit less. Yellow really doesn't do anything for me.
Brown is often people's favourite flavour, especially lollipops.
Uh, yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised how few lollipops we actually get sent up here.
Well, did I tell you about the cupboard in the labs next to the one you just went into? Maybe if we get a chance, that might be worth a foray into the doctor's cupboard.
You're good at this. You wait until I've actually got a helmet on before you tell me about the lollipops.
It gives you a reason to live, don't you think?
Yeah, because I need another one of those. Okay, I'm closing the inner door to the airlock now. Okay, I've got a good seal. Stand by, opening the outer door. Then it'll take me a second or two just to, um, I don't know, do whatever I do when confronted with this. I haven't done this actually for real before, so expect anything between violently sick or singing a lullaby. I have no idea. Let's find out.
Okay.
Okay, that's big. There's a lot more outside than I expected.
Yeah. It goes on forever, so I've heard. Over.
Yeah, yeah, you can be told that, and then when you see it, you think, you know what's weird? There's nothing between me and Ganymede, and I know it's what 40,000 kilometers away, something like that. But it looks like I could just reach out and grip it in my fingers.
Just
Also, it would be too big.
to grip in your fingers. It's bigger than it looks. There, some things in space are small and some are far away, and Ganymede is far away. Don't people making their first spacewalk around Jupiter have spoken similar things. You need to stay focused on what you need to do. Find something on the ship to focus on. Don't I guess just don't start gazing around. Don't get lost in the wonder. You need to focus on your job. Over.
Okay, no wanderlust. Let's go. Um, I'm heading for where on the station? It's weird on the outside. I'm just going to work my way with the pad eyes along the outside. What am I looking for?
Uh, you see where the the solar panel. You can't miss the solar panels.
Apparently not. They're basically right in front of me, and they're huge.
Where they join in the middle at the side of the station. That's where that's where all our comm systems. That's where our recording, our radio devices are. Just at that at the base. Basically, if you were going down that corridor, basically directly above your head, you'd think that they would come up with a way to reach up and deal with it without leaving. But that's space design for you.
Okay, I'm going to take it um, slow and carefully as I move my way along because I have to tell you, everything out here is 3 millimeters away from me and 3 million miles away from me at the same time. I'm getting almost no concept of distance or depth. So I'm just going to work my way along the outside of the craft until I run out of craft, and then I'm going to stop.
Are you planning to move along the outside of the lab to dining? Over.
Yes.
Um, please be careful there. That's do you keep keep the hull close to your face. Take a 12/7 check on that. Over.
Oh, you're killing me. Oh, that does not look good.
I'm officious. What can I say? How's the are you okay over the outer camera? You've what was that? Over.
Um, it's giving me error 4.
You're you're you have to switch off the magnetized boot. Over. You're going to have to take this old school.
You know, when I get to Europa, I think you and I are going to have a serious chat. This is not how I wanted this to go. Okay. All right. I'm just going to hurl myself straight towards it. If this goes right, I'm going to be there in seconds. If it goes wrong, I'm going to be saying cheery bye as I drift away from the station.
The the leap over to storage itself is risky. Crewmate 4. I've not seen anyone. I've not seen anyone do that in practice or training in a long time. Over.
Well, apparently we've got comms problems, so you're probably not going to see me do it this time. But we're going to do it anyway. Any advice?
Just just aim for a rung and push off hard. Um, I'll uh, I'll see you on the other side. 8-5.
8-7. I'm there.
You made it.
Apparently, I'm not entirely sure that all of me did. I think I may have left a bowel movement behind, but yeah, I'm fine.
This is fantastic. You're nearly halfway there. Um, I would say over and under. In space, there is no over under, but with the relays on the top, as it were, I recommend going over. But like I say, please don't. Once you're on top, you're out in the open of space. I suppose. Please don't get caught. It's your first walk in such situations. Please stay focused and look forward to the relays. Over.
Okay, eyes on the prize. Right. Okay, pressing on. Certainly coming into view. I can nearly reach it. Hang on. Okay, I'm there.
Well, did you recordings again? Number 4. Did you feel that at all? Any change? Any rumble? Over.
I didn't feel anything, but my vision went shaky for a moment, like I was slightly dizzy. Have we shake and move again?
Um, I am wondering. Let's get this sorted and check. I think if my numbers are right, we're still in orbital decay. Over.
Okay.
Let's get you inside and let's make the most of the time.
Well, let's get this repaired first, right?
Absolutely. Now you should have the small masts there. Can you see that? It should
Yep.
be easy enough. There's a box below it, and there's a hatch in the craft itself. Over.
Yep, I'm with you.
Can you carefully remove the bolts to the hatch and also open the box? We're going to try and do. I'm assuming you only want to come out here once. Over.
At most.
Then let's do everything at once.
Agreed.
Open everything. Let's hit everything in one go.
All right. Okay. Any particular sequence or anything, or do I just go for it?
Just slap everything open, and we'll work through. We'll work through everything after that.
All right. Okay. Opening everything now. Ignoring the sticker that says opening this will void your warranty. Ignoring the telephone number to call for on-site repair.
That should have been taken off, to be honest. Over once it left. Once it left.
Yep. Okay, it's open. What am I doing in here? Yeah, hello. Oh, that's not good. Okay. All right, training. I'm going to tighten everything and see if that makes a difference. We'll go through each one in turn. One. Have I got you? Two. Control. You copy me? Control. Three. Okay. I've been thinking a lot about death recently. Four. Control.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give four another go. See if I can get it. How's that? Have you got me?
And you press what that?
Okay, two to go. Five. And six.
Yeah. What? Press that. It's a. Can 10-4 over.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here.
Can you're receiving me?
I am loud and clear.
Oh, thank goodness for that. My heart was in my mouth. I nearly spilt my coffee. Over.
Yeah, I feel for you. Must have been scary.
Did what happened at your
I
end?
don't know. I think opening the box may have shifted something or moved something. I tightened everything down and it seemed to get you back.
I did notice a drop in comms, but it does seem to be recovering again. Shall we get the job done and get you back inside?
Let's aim for that.
Okay, the radio relay. We're going to see what we can get out of that. I guess it depends. This is where your skills are really going to come in. Number 4. It'll be a 12864 check. Over.
12864. Okay. Um, let's go through and see what the readouts are. Okay. The first one shows up at 12.
Fantastic. Let's keep building that comms.
The second one's a 6. That's probably not quite as ideal.
Not quite, but we are developing our comms. I'm definitely seeing movement. What in your last two checks, over?
5 any use to you?
5, I'm seeing increasing comms.
And a 4 on the last one.
That's perfect, over. I think this is good. This is the most stable we've been, I think. I think yes, this is good. This is good, over. This is fantastic. We're there. Let's hit the other two. Do you want the? Are you more interested in checking on your ongoing decay or increasing power inputs next, over?
Let's find out where we are first.
That's a good check. What tools have you got with you? Have you got the full kit?
I've got a toolkit. Yep. Just the regular belt one. Plus, I'm still carrying a spanner.
Which gear are you preferring at the minute, over?
Well, I can take a 6 or an 8 out of the toolkit, or I've got a 12 in my hand.
Take a. It's up to you, over. Take a 12.5 or a 6.3.
12's in my hand. We'll give it a shot. Yep, that's good. That's really slotted.
That's fantastic. Bear with me. I think it's loading up somewhat. I'm seeing something flicking down. Bear with me. I think it's can you is it back on your readout, over? Decay, can you see?
Stand by. I'm checking now. Yeah, I've got a position. Have you?
I have. It's not looking great, it must be said, but at least we've got a bead on it, over.
Yeah. So just something you said earlier. There is such a thing as a point of no return, right?
Yeah, but we're 0.08 AU away from that, over, and that's 0.08 of the distance between the sun and the Earth. That's a long way.
It is. It is. Um, yeah. Okay.
There's plenty of time to do things that would really help people, over.
Helping people. Yes, good plan. Helping people is the way to go. Is there anything else I can do out here before I head back?
We could try get the power up. We might be able to get you some lights in there. They were definitely it was shorted when the escape pods went. It's because of the amount of power needed to push them away. It shorted us right down.
Yep.
We could look at building that up again if you're interested.
Oh, that would be helpful.
Wonderful. You said you've got a 12 tool with you at the minute for the
I
power
have.
box. With a let's look at the increase with a using your 12 tool with a 10. We might even be able to increase power by 50% if you can make that with an 8, a 40, a 6, 30, a 2, 20, and the rest.
Okay. Let's see what we can do.
I'll have the scanner on. Let's See what you can do.
I'll turn it as far round as I can get it.
Please do as much. I know it's tough out there, but we need to make something here.
All right. I've I've got it all the way to 10.
That is that is that is fantastic. I'm seeing it 72%. That's um that's extraordinary.
And given your rounding up thing, we're going to call that 80, right?
That, that rounding is from my cricket days. Best not used for this, I suppose, to such an extent. Over.
Ah, yeah, yeah, cricket. Okay, let's uh let's see what else we can do to make the world a better place. Um, am I heading back in, or is there something else I can do out here?
Unless you want to do some sightseeing, the oxygen in your suit was and gives you 2 hours of oxygen. What are you down to? Over.
Um, I got more than half. Um, hold on a sec. The camera in the suit. I just need to
Mm.
do one thing before we head back. Well, actually, two. I'm going to take a picture of the settings as they are now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so they can be reconstructed if necessary later. And and then I'm going to take a selfie with Jupiter in the background. Okay, came out fine. Um, okay, I'm heading back. You with me?
I am. We're reading suit oxygen at 1 hour 17. Do you have the same there?
Yeah, close enough. It's
Fan-
done in percentages, but yeah, roughly.
Fantastic. Make your way back to the airlock. Everything looks good inside. Don't do anything clever, anything smart. Just follow your training. Over.
If you knew me, you would know there is no danger of me doing anything smart.
And that's why our training is anti-smart.
Yeah, well, certainly 5 took that to heart. Okay. On my way back. Stand by.
If you could have any food in the world right now, number four, what would you have?
Um, absolutely anything as long as it was locally sourced. That's the key thing. I'd want the farm to be no more than 6 feet from the table.
We do some wonderful brassicas here on Europa, number four.
Wow, that's a sentence you don't hear very often.
It's hard to grow a lot of things here, but in the polytunnels we can make some things work.
You know what I miss? Raspberries.
I haven't seen a raspberry in 20 years.
Yeah.
When was the last time you had a raspberry, number four?
Honestly,
Mm.
I can't remember now. If I'd known it would be my last one for ages, I think I'd have paid more attention. It was just the next raspberry I was having. Yeah. Weird that.
It's strange, isn't it, that one day a raspberry you have is the last raspberry you'll ever have.
Yeah, it is strange. Okay. I'm back at the airlock. Heading in now. Ah, this looks familiar. I think I've been here before. Um, Door sealed. I'm cycling. Ah, and there's the lab. Ah, lab's much as I left it. Can we try a bit more light?
Yeah, you have the power now. You can probably look in the room controls for it. Over.
All right. Um, when they designed this thing, they put the light switch by the other end of the building, by the other end of the room. I'm figuring they didn't think people would actually come in from outside and have to turn the lights on. Um, but I'll be there in a sec. Hold on. Okay.
Did you just turn the lights on for the whole thing? We've had a sudden power dip to 20%'s gone. I'm guessing the whole place must be shining like a beacon.
It's certainly pretty bright. Yeah.
Okay, let's. That's good. That's good. Light is good, is it not?
Certainly very reassuring. Feels much more friendly. Less. You feel less alone when the lights are on.
It's, it's what they say. It's what they say.
It's one of those things that people say about the fear of being alone in the dark. Because I've always thought that's a weird thing to be afraid of. Surely the thing you should be afraid of is being not alone and in the dark.
Well, there's no fear of that for you right now, number four, I guess.
No, the light's great. Also, alone.
Did you know in the whole? I've done the maths in the whole history of mankind. There's no one. There's no one ever been as alone as you right now.
You know what I worked out while I was out there? Because of the angle I took my selfie,
Mm.
I'm the only person
Hmm.
alive who wasn't in that picture.
I may not be with you physically, number four, but I like to think, in lieu of you having someone better on the line, these moments are special.
Yeah, they're good. So, here we go. There's stuff in the lab you need to be checked, right?
Yeah. Did you ever pay much attention to crewmate number three's experiments at all?
Actually, I spent a lot of time helping out. I mean, I say helping out, carrying, fetching, interrupting with drinks. I'm
Hmm.
not claiming some expertise here. Just yeah, I was around. Why?
The 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 food they're working on is is high yield and can be grown in incredibly substandard surroundings. Um, their crewmate three's whole purpose actually on the mission was to follow this. That might be why they seemed single-minded at times.
Okay, so
This is a well, we can't. It's going to be. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think we're going to be able to return the seedlings from this situation.
not going to be able to return the seedlings
But we can return the data.
because the seedlings they're physical.
All the seedlings are doing very well, are they not? We're thriving, at last I heard.
They're fine.
It's it's a long way back to Europa, after all.
Yeah, and getting longer every second. All right. Um, how do I get the data you need?
There's her computer system in the lab should be. She never really password protected it because she always said that she assumed that none of you ever be that interested anyway.
It's probably true.
I think her password's password one. Give it a go.
I will try it. You're not wrong. It works. Possibly adding some data security training to the training sessions would be good.
I think she never assumed that the other six of you would be trying to destroy humanity's chance at a better food source.
No, I'm absolutely sure none of us would, but it's entirely possible that five might have decided to log on to it in order to install a game.
I think he might have done, and that's why we spent 48 hours deleting malware from the system.
Okay. Well, that's probably time well spent. Okay. So, what do I do here?
Right, I need you to take the information on a USB to comms and shoot it off like a package. I guess we'll get it. We'll receive it in a few days if things are right.
Yep.
Um, it's. I'm not gonna lie to you. It Sending things like that is expensive with regards to power.
All right. Um,
The power will return somewhat, but to force it out, you're going down to very little for a short time.
but it's the job, right? So, so okay. Um, one moment. I'll get a stick and start transferring the data.
Which format stick do you have?
Well, this one's a 6.
Oh man, a six. It's not ideal. Um, it's difficult with a six. I'm hoping a, a 6.5 gives perfect data, but a 6.3 will give us something we can work on. It might delay us a bit, but it's something.
You think there'll be a better stick in storage?
You can check it. I think for fives and threes. I think there's an eight. I think there's some eights in storage. There's a few. There was anyway, if you can find them.
All right. Well, it's not like I've got a full dance card, so let's go for a wander to storage and see if I can find one.
Did you take off your suit over, or are you still in? I don't know what's it
I've
over.
popped the helmet,
Okay, that's
um,
good. That's good.
but I'm keeping the suit on.
That is good. Oxygen at 30, yeah, 36%.
Which remember we're rounding up to 80.
Yeah, I believe that's what you said.
Yeah,
My top cricketing score.
that's what we're doing. Okay, so um, all right, in storage now. You weren't wrong about the tethering. A bit of chaos here. Hang on a second. I'm going to have to wade my way through stuff. Okay, got one.
Is it an 8 model?
It's an 8. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay. On my way back. Okay, maybe just me, but I felt that one.
I'm not surprised. That red up is the biggest so far. You're still on the cusp of Jupiter's influence, but you're slowing. It's we can't avoid that. Let me check the yeah. You're at best 0.365 maybe.
Okay. We should have painted this thing red. Red ones always go faster.
Well, if you've when you've done this, there's some paint in storage.
I'll get on that. Okay, I'm back at the computer. Okay. So, you reckon an 8.5 will retrieve everything?
I think 8.5 gets the full day, so 8.3 will get us something workable. Just take a little bit more time.
Okay. We're not getting all of it,
We're getting some.
Some of it's copying across, yeah.
It's got to be worth it, to be honest. I think you doing this is going to make a difference to a lot of people.
That's good. Right. Now, I've got the stick. I'm not going to transfer it to comms yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use the 6 as well.
Okay.
Have another go at copying. You never know. Maybe the 8's a bit corrupted. We're out here in the cosmic radiation after all.
You sound like a hippie sometimes.
And that's looking perfect.
You've copied it perfectly over.
Well, good enough. 100%. No checksum errors.
That's incredible. That's fantastic. Oh,
Right.
Bring it over to comms and we'll shoot it off over.
Right.
It my way.
One moment though. I'm just going to use that 8 again.
Mm-hmm.
And transfer the pictures I took onto it. Then when I get to comms, I'm going to try and send you both packets.
Okay. Who's your next of kin, number 4?
Let's technically not a next of kin, but a significant other. Does that count?
Absolutely.
Okay, pictures across. Name's Sarah.
What is she to you, number 4?
Girlfriend.
How long?
6 years.
You had anything back from her in the last 18 months?
Get a message every now and then.
How's she doing?
She's good.
What's when you lie in your cot at night? What was it about her that first comes to you?
Her hair. Doesn't move like other people's hair. It's it's magical. If you can get the pictures to her, I'd appreciate it.
I'll I'll certainly do my best. I'll make it a priority. Um, as for the experimental data, could you send that now? That's going to need. We'll send that on the big burst. Yeah,
Yeah,
send that on big. Um, how powered up is it?
looks good. I mean, got power to burn, um, uh, which is handy because I've got a feeling that when we actually hit Jupiter's gas itself, we're going to burn up a bit, aren't we? So let's burn some of the power first. Uh, all right. I'm plugging the stick in. We're good to go. What do I need to do to send it?
It's a it's an 8-level memory card, right? Memory stick.
The one with the good copies is 6.
6. Bang it across. Tell me what the checksum is back.
Okay, firing now. 5.
Uh, 4. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Over? Over.
Yep, I've got you. I've got you.
What what happened? That shorted everything.
Uh, um, Power dipped a lot, but it seemed to go.
That's that's something at least. That is something. Power showing up 9%. That's worrying though. Did it really take that much to send? I wasn't expecting that much. What happened?
On the progress bar, as it got towards the end, I think it was the actual burst of sending that block of data. It completed, and then a couple of seconds later, everything just went dim, and emergency lighting came back on. It was well, it was a thrilling ride if you were here. I think people are paying money for it.
What do you have as your readout on oxygen? Over.
30%. So we're rounding that up to 80, right?
I think that's the way you've been working it. Yeah. I can buy you more time if you close more spaces off, but how are you feeling with oxygen? You got an hour and a bit in your suit. Anyway, you don't feel called to?
I suppose the only thing I can shut off is crew quarters.
If you're going to do that, could you do a sweep? It might be worth. Not that we can do anything physically, but there might be any items that we can take pictures of and send back that people might care for. Over.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I'll tell you what. While I'm doing that, it's going to take me a couple of minutes. If I read you, say a message to Sarah,
Mm-hmm.
can you clip it out of this transmission and send it to her?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, thank you. So I'm making my way to crew quarters now. I'll be taking some pics. I'll add them to the 8, and then send the burst, and hope it doesn't short the whole thing out.
Okay.
So here goes. Sarah, it's Harry. I don't know if you remember this, but pretty much the last thing you said to me before I took this assignment was that my one job is to bring myself back safely. Well, I've always been a bit of an underachiever at work, and it seems like that's not going to happen. And someone at ground control has very kindly agreed to take a little message, and I was trying to think what I wanted to say to you, and everything seemed really depressing and pointless, except to say this has been a long way from home, and it's been thoroughly miserable, and the things that keep you going are the good things that you remember, and for me, they've all been you, and I want to thank you for that. And I want to say thank you for all of those good times. I don't regret anything, not the fights and the arguments and the disagreements, because from a million miles away, they all seem like just part of the tapestry of a friendship, and more than a friendship. Thank you for it all, and with as much dignity as I can muster, goodbye. You got that?
Yeah, receive number 4.
Thank you. I think I've got pictures of anything interesting. There's not a lot left here. Just bits of some old notebooks and stuff. I'm leafing through them in case there's anything mission relevant.
Uh, Crewmate number 1, if you can go to their locker.
Yeah?
I've had, I've been in contact. Been in contact that they left, they left their notebook there with some poetry they've written for their daughter. Could you send a photo of that over, please? Over.
Yeah, I can do that. Hold
Thank
on.
you.
Okay. Yep, that's come out fine. It's not brilliantly spelt.
I think that'll be the least of the concern when Crewmate 1 makes it back to Europa and sees their child.
Yeah. They're good, right? You wouldn't lie to me. They are making the journey safely.
Everything seems to be following procedure. I say it's still going to be a few days till we pick them up, but life signs are good. Everything is good as far as I can tell. Our our ship has gone out to meet them. It shouldn't be too far away. Yeah, they'll make it.
Okay.
I'm just sorry the ship won't make it far enough in time.
Well, it's it's one of those things I suppose we have to accept, that everybody will at some time or another face this problem, and if you're really really lucky, you can see it coming from far enough out to make a difference. And hopefully I'm making a difference.
If if you were on death row, what would have been your meal?
You mean fantasy death row or a real one?
I know they changed their rules over the years. There's people order crazy stuff and that, but let's go fantasy.
Okay. um my last meal would be the lightly braised heart of the guy who was going to pull the switch.
Uh, how about the real death row meal?
You know, I heard that they usually have a strict budget, so you can have anything you want, but it can't be more than like $4. Um, I guess, assuming I'd been I'd been a decent enough prisoner that the warden would be willing to bend the rules a little bit. Chateaubriand bernets with fried potatoes and creamed mushrooms and spinach, green beans, um, maybe a bit of broccoli. How about you?
You know, part of me is one of those guys that would just take the olive and swallow it, pip and whole. You know, so a tree grows out of my dead carcass.
Yeah,
But the truth is, I think when we're all faced with our own mortality, you're going to try and take that last moment of comfort, right?
yeah, yeah.
I tell you
Just
what,
something a bit special, maybe.
I tell you what, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be a McDonald's, that's for sure.
No, it would not. It would definitely not.
And I think I'd struggle without the no alcohol rule.
That would also be a problem.
I think we're going to change that for this discussion.
Okay. Then in that case, a really nice glass of claret. And I'd want the steak to be so rare that a competent vet could get it back on its feet.
Ah, it's so long since I've had steak.
Yeah. Yeah. Still, anything else in here I need to picture? The poetry's I've got. Um,
If
the rest of the stuff, I mean, it's a lot of it might be theoretically work related, but it's just scratch notes.
I say, if you're going to take anything before you seal that off and we try and reclaim, take your bag. It never
Yeah,
made it, right? Never made it.
I'll do it. I mean, it's packed and ready to go. There was for a while a plan for me to be on an escape pod. You say?
Exactly. Stuck with crewmate number 5, looking by how many seats there were in each. Maybe you've ended up in the better situation. Sorry, that was crass of me.
Not entirely wrong though. I mean, it's wrong, but not as much wrong as it should be. Um, okay, I've got my kit. I'm sealing crew quarters now. It's oddly emotional, actually. Spent so much time there.
That's all your off time, all your sleep time. That's a good over a third of your time on this space station was in there. 6 months in there at least.
That's a hell of a way to think about it, given that it's not exactly luxury accommodation.
There's never anywhere more luxury than where you sleep, right?
It turns out that once you're comfortable and your eyes are closed, it doesn't really matter if you're sleeping in a shack or a palace.
That's like they say. We'll go in the same way. We'll come in the same way. Go out the same way. And when you're asleep, it really doesn't matter. We all dream, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why don't you come to Life Sport? Let's see what we can get for you.
Good idea. Okay. Yep, life support. Still a bit gloomy. Thankfully, I do have a torch. Anything I need to do here?
Oh man, power is still down. Give me what tool you got with you?
I've got my trusty 12 spanner.
Okay, with the 12, give me an 8 for 3, a 6 for 2, and a 4 for 1.
Oh, give it a shot.
I know, it's far from ideal.
It only goes to 3 on this one.
Well, it's we're 36, right? So that half takes us up to 40. But that's all you got. We're dropping down. That's not great. Not great. But every little helps, right?
Every little helps.
Your power's low, man. Lights. I'm surprised you can see anything right now, right? Since that shot. You must be on like the proper emergency stuff.
Yeah, I mean the glow is fairly dim. It's fine as long as I'm not reading something or whatever. I mean, let's be honest. I've been here for a while. There aren't really going to be any surprises.
I'm gonna be honest. There's more that you could do for people a long way away from you, but we're gonna need the power. How do you feel about potentially dropping out oxygen or comms to pump that up a bit?
I'm going to need the power to send this burst anyway, aren't I? So, I need you to talk me through stuff. I can't lose all of comms, can I? Can I knock it down a bit?
If you head to systems, I guess we can kill two birds with one stone. Check in on decay. Try and move some stuff around. Let's try and mess with the systems, right? Let's see what we can
do it. All right.
What's your favourite movie, number 4?
Ironically, Star Wars.
What is it about Star Wars you like?
Simple, basic storytelling. Like a Greek tragedy with a happy ending. It's a plot you could easily write on the back of a postcard, and then told with such enthusiasm and charisma. It's there's something nice about it. How about you?
So you like a simple plot, right? You like it's a tragedy with a. I'm a Shakespeare man myself. Shakespeare's plays were all a tragedy or comedy purely depended on the ending, right?
Yeah, basically, if nobody dies, it's a comedy, and if everybody dies, it's a tragedy.
Everything bad could happen if people leave with a smile on their face. It's a comedy.
Yeah. Also, I suppose the comedies did have jokes in.
Yeah, tragedies can have humour, I suppose. My favourite movies are old westerns and old samurais. Kurosawa's, John Wayne's spaghetti westerns, where it's a one man or one group standing against great odds in the hope that they can make things better, I suppose. It's fancy though, right? Because reality is that one man can't make things better, right?
I suppose you could try explaining that to Gandhi.
Gandhi was, from what I can tell from looking back so many years, he was a worthy man who gathered thousands of people to his cause. I think my hope in this time, in this midday with you, is that the time we have together can also improve the lives of many, many people. I'm sure you'd agree.
Uh, yeah. If if there's a way of making a difference, it would be good to make a difference. And if there's a way of making that difference in a way that's, really public and obvious so that I then get credit for it, that would be better. Quite fancy a big statue of me in a town square somewhere.
Now you're talking. Well, that's the dream, right? Number four, if you could find yourself back on your road tomorrow, but with none of the good that we're going to do now, would you do it?
Yeah.
If we could fake a statue without you doing any good, would you do it?
Don't think I'd want a fake statue.
Made of papier mâché, melting in the rain.
But I'd take an actual life, even one that didn't deserve a statue.
Why? Why did you choose to stay behind out of everyone?
I suppose it was because I was the most afraid. I don't think I had the courage to know that I'd be able to function if I'd left someone behind,
Mm.
That would have just eaten me up. It's simpler, I suppose. It's easier to not have that guilt on you. Guilt is it's toxic. It tears at you. And if you have something really really bad to feel guilty about, it affects every part of your life from that point onwards. I didn't want to face that.
Do you think any of the other crewmates wish they'd swap with you?
I don't know. It's not something I'd have asked them, because I don't want the guilt of denying them that either.
It's kind of a shame that our readings, that as the pods exploded out, that our readings suggested that you lost consciousness for the time, because it would been fascinating to hear how you felt in that moment. But looking back now to that couple of hours past, what do you feel?
You ever jump off a diving board?
A couple of times. Don't go too high, I'm risk averse myself.
You know that moment where you think, I can jump off the side of a pool, and I can jump off a board that's a couple of meters above the water. So why is it different jumping off a board that's 10 meters above the water? And every time you go to the pool, you look up at it and you think, well, I'm never going up there. Not because you don't want to see what it would look like, but because you're worried that you'd never jump and then you'd have that climb back down again.
The walk of shame.
Yeah. And sometimes what it takes is someone with you. Neither of you would go up there and jump without the other. It's not like one of you's eager to do it and the other one's being dragged along. Both of you kind of want to do it, but you won't until you've got someone to show off for or someone to do it with. So you go up and you stand there together looking off the top of the board and you think, we're both going to die. And then you realize that you're desperate not to be the second one to jump.
Hmm.
That's what it felt like. It was like, I know we're going to do this. I don't want I don't want to be the second one. So I'm jumping. I'm making the call now. That's what it felt like.
You know that before the next midday comes, you're gonna die, right?
Yeah, it's become pretty clear. The seedlings won't be collected after all.
And I wish it wasn't the case. I wish that we were close enough to send a ship that would pick you up, that we had another escape pod, that there was a way that you could jump into space and your momentum would take you close enough to pick up, but you're at 0.3 whatever AU and closing in to Jupiter, that you heroically let the others go, that you stayed close to it, and that all you've got left is me and your own thoughts and anything you can do that I suggest.
Yeah, but I haven't decided how I'm going yet.
See, now this is interesting. Now that is the last choice of a man, right? It's still this.
In this case, yeah.
If you could spend one night with a movie character, who would it be?
Does it have to be a movie character?
I'm open to suggestions.
One movie character. Who would it be? One night. Dinner and a show. Nice hotel room. I'll tell you what. Bit of an out there choice. But right now, I think it would be Ellen Ripley.
Hmm.
Because I'm thinking she'd work out how to get off this ship.
Also, her knickers are tiny.
There is that. Yeah. So you said you're into Shakespeare.
Yeah, I've been known to dabble.
What's your favourite?
You know, the historicals have place. Henry V of the historicals, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I like slightly farcical stuff because let's face it, life is farcical, right? How you end up where you are, I end up where I am. How the situation falls. For me, it's perhaps the Tempest, and it's how face to face with the most desirable choice there is, but knowing the need to remain upright and honest, chess is played. In the midst of the whirlwinds, the storms on this island of desire and shipwreckedness, that there is still a certain order, I suppose, pulled about.
Yeah. And Prospero's guilty conscience as Caliban.
It's
Ariel's rather eloquent way of telling somebody they're an orphan.
as a mouthpiece to Shakespeare himself. Unfortunately, there are no bears to exeunt from, which 12th night would come second for that reason. Anything where strange love triangles with men just as women and women just as men is always entertaining. But
Yeah.
but I think I understand tragedy, but in my heart, I need a happy ending. You know.
I know what you mean. I've always had a soft spot for Measure.
What draws you to that?
The setup is a an awful thing. A guy condemned to death begs his sister, who's about to become a nun, to offer herself to the local lord in order to get him released in exchange.
Mm.
But what happens next turns into a bit of a bedroom farce because there's all this stuff about arranging so the ensuing date will take place in pitch darkness so that the Lord won't know that actually he's not sleeping with the woman he thinks he is, but with someone else who's a bit of an enthusiast in that department. And then at the end, it turns out the whole thing's almost like an undo. That it's like a reset
Hmm.
because the entire setup was a test for one of the characters to find out how they would act. So everybody gets to go home with some degree of smile on their face. And we're
Hmm.
all sort of supposed to forget that one of those characters was told he was going to die and kept in a condemned cell for most of the play. But it's fine because it was all just a test.
So it's to think that you're stuck in a cell condemned to death, but ultimately it turns out it was just a test and you're free to go. That must be a huge sense of relief, would you not think?
Yeah. Can't help feeling I'd be quite angry about it though afterwards.
Hmm, that's true. Are you at systems?
I am, yes.
What tour you got?
Trusty 12.
We can only share things out at this point. What's your priority? Comms or oxygen? What we send into power?
Um,
You may lose my beautiful face, but you'll still hear me. Your decay tracker may drop. Oxygen, you may be limited to where you are.
if I have to lose the visual, I'll lose the visual. As long as I've still got the voice to talk me through, we'll take from comms. It's what I've got the most control of at the moment.
Right. What tool you got? This home?
Number 12 spanner.
Tell me how far you can turn with the 12.
Tens as far as it goes.